Hi, I'm Ed Barber and this is my guide to the ABRSM Grade 7 double bass scales. If you look in the description of this video, I'll outline the timings for the major scales, the minor scales, the arpeggios, dominant sevenths, diminished sevenths, chromatic scales, thumb position scales and the scale in thirds. Grade 7 is quite a nice set of scales to play because we work essentially just in 4 key structures in F sharp, G sharp or A flat, B flat and C. So starting with the major scales, F sharp major has got 6 sharps in the key signature. We're going to go back to the same fingering that I used for the grade 5 major scales, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4. This time starting in first position on the E string for an F sharp. So F sharp, G sharp in first, A sharp to B in third on the E string, back a semitone, C sharp to D sharp on the A string in second and a half, and then up to fourth, E sharp to F sharp. So that's the bottom octave of F sharp major. So now that we're in fourth position for our F sharp, for the second octave I'm going to introduce a new set of fingering, and this is the fourth finger major scale fingering. So for this fingering, we start in one position, we pop back for a semitone on the first finger for another note, and then back to where we were. My old teacher used to call this spring back fingering, where we play an F sharp in fourth, back to third and a half for a G sharp, then back to fourth for an A sharp to B, back to third and a half, C sharp to D sharp, and then up to fifth and a half, E sharp to F sharp. So the whole scale sounds like this. Back, forward, back. The grade 7 major scales are still slurred in sets of 4. It's the only disadvantage to learning scales by ear and finger pattern. All the other advantages of being able to memorize patterns, being able to use your ears more, in not using music for learning scales, the only main disadvantage is that I find it a lot harder to work out where slurs are. Slurring at the octave's fine, but slurring every 4 notes is quite difficult when you don't have music. So you've just got to count a set of 4 notes at a time when you're slurring. So I'll demonstrate it for the F sharp major scale. So counting in sets of 4. So that's F sharp major. Next scale we're going to use is A flat major. So A flat major's got 4 flats in the key signature, B flat, E flat, A flat and D flat. So we're going to use that same fourth finger fingering that we used for F sharp. This time we're going to start in first position. So that idea of a spring back fingering, 4 for your A flat, back a semitone to B flat in half, then back to first, 2, 4, C to D flat, back to half, 1, 4, E flat to F, and then up to second and a half, G to A flat. So the bottom octave sounds like this. And in the top octave, we can use that exact same fingering. So A flat in second half, back a semitone, B flat, and then back to where you were, C, D flat. So 4, back to where you were. Then up to fifth position, E flat to F. And then what I think is called sixth and a half position, which is second finger on harmonic G. And then third finger for the A flat. And again, as with all scales, it's really important to use more bow, faster bows towards the bridge as you get higher up the scale. So A flat major. The shifts from first to half position are actually obviously the largest semitone shifts you get on the double bass. So it's quite important that those shifts are really defined. So then we move on to B flat major. Obviously B flat major, 2 flats in the key signature, B flat and E flat. So starting with first finger in half position for the B flat, we're going to use exactly the same fingering really as the F sharp major scale, just back a semitone. So 1, 4 in half, second and half, D to E flat, sorry, back a semitone, F to G, and then forward to third and a half, A to B flat. So 1 4 2 4 1 4 2 4. And then once in third and a half position, again using that same fourth finger fingering. So third and a half, back to third and a half. And then up to sixth position, or what's also known as passing position, third finger goes on the harmonic G, and you play your first finger, F, G, with 3 fingers. And then your thumb replaces your third finger using a chromatic hand shape, A to B flat. And it's worth practicing those top notes, the F to G to A. If you want to tune your top A, you can check the tuning with your harmonic in fourth position, and then you should sound similar notes. B flat major. And the last scale we're going to play for our major scales is C major. So C major, as with grade 5 and as with grade 3, I always kind of break the rules with C major because it's good to learn a different set of fingering and also use the C major fingering that you'd use if you kind of saw a C major scale in a piece. So starting in first position for C, open D, 1 2, open G, and then to second position 2 4. Up to fourth position, D to E, and then passing position again, or sixth position again. This is F to G. So up to there we get the scale. And then once at the top, once at the G, shift your thumb to where your third finger is, and then it's a diatonic hand shape at the top. So first finger, a tone between your thumb and first finger for your A. Tone between your first and second finger for a B, and then a semitone between your second finger and your third finger for your C. So you get, even though you're not playing your thumb in the scale, you get this. So the top octave, second to fourth to passing to diatonic. So C major. And you might have noticed that I used the harmonic G then on the way down just as a reference point to check that I'm in tune. If you ever use your harmonics or your open strings in the scales, and if the open strings sound out of tune, then it means your hand's in the wrong hand shape. So it's worth, when you're practicing your scales, just check in with the odd open string or the odd harmonic on the way down, just to check that you're in the right place. Okay, so minor scales. Our minor scales, we're going to play melodic and harmonic minor scales for a start, but hopefully they're going to use quite similar fingering. And the first thing I'm going to do is teach the top octave fingering that I use for all of my harmonic minor scales and all of my melodic minor scales, just as a start. And I'm going to use, I'll use B flat as a way of demonstrating this. So for our harmonic minor scales, we can use the same fingering: 1 4, 1 4, 1 2, and then 2 3. So in the key of B flat, I'll talk you through that. So we get a B flat to C in second, and then a D flat to E flat in third and a half, and then an F to G flat in sixth position, and then your thumb goes where your third finger would be, and in a chromatic hand shape, play 2 for your raised seventh, which is your A natural, and then B flat. So the scale sounds like this. And the important thing for that is the thumb replacing the third finger. So that's harmonic minor scales. Harmonic minor scales being whatever's in the key signature plus a raised 7th. So for melodic minor, we can use exactly the same positions. We're just going to change the top octave fingering. So starting again in second for your B flat, D flat to E flat, and then moving to sixth position again, F, but this time the raised sixth, which is a G natural, and then the raised 7th, which is an A natural, again replacing your third finger with your thumb, 2, 3. So the top of the melodic minor scale sounds like this, exactly the same as a major scale. And then on the way down, instead of 2 fingers for the raised 7th, we're going to play 1 finger for the flattened 7th, and 1 finger and 2 fingers for the flattened 6th in the same position. So up and down the melodic minor scale, going up and going down from the 5th sounds like this. In my grade 5 video, I talked about using drones on YouTube, like kind of pedal notes to help with intonation, and it's a really good idea to find a pedal note, like a solid drone that you can have in the background, and then practice these melodic minor scales or harmonic minor scales, the top octaves, using those drones for intonation. So yeah, melodic minor 1 4 1 4 1 3 2 3, and then coming back 1 2 1, and it's always the thumb replacing the third finger, and using a chromatic hand shape at the top. So because we started in B flat, I'll finish off B flat as a way of showing the rest of the scale. With this fingering 1 4 1 4 1 3 2 3 for melodic minor, 1 4 1 4 1 2 2 3 for harmonic minor, it's obviously quite important to land on a first finger for the top octave. So I'm going to use all fingering to kind of adjust for that. So B flat harmonic minor, starting in half, 1 2 4 in first, back to half, 2 4 in first, then 1, and then across to a 1. So that involves the 5th, flat 6th, raised 7th, up to the tonic, and it's the same fingering on the way up as the way down. B flat melodic minor, we're going to raise the 6th, we're going to raise the 7th on the way up, and then flatten them on the way down. So it sounds like this. So B flat half to first, C to D flat, E flat F. This time you can use an open G because it's the raised 6th, and then an A is the raised 7th in half position. So the bottom octave, 1 2 4, back to half, stay in half, A with 2 fingers, and then a B flat with 1 finger, and then the melodic minor scale top octave fingering, 4 1 4 1 3 2 3, 1 coming back down for the flat 7th, 2 coming back down for the flat 6th. Now we need to pop back to half position to play the A flat for flat 7th, to first for the G flat. So the fingering is actually quite tricky on the way down. B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat. So B flat melodic minor. So we're going to take those same concepts and use the same fingerings for the harmonic minor scales, top octaves, melodic minor scale, top octaves, and then it's just working out which fingering you need for the bottom octaves to get up there. So back to F sharp. F sharp minor sounds slightly more scary than it is because it's only got 3 sharps in the key signature. So F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp, but it also has that raised 7th of an E sharp if we're playing a harmonic minor. So F sharp harmonic minor. First position, F sharp, 1 finger on the E string, G sharp, open A, B, C sharp, open D, E sharp, which is the same as an F natural, 2 fingers, and then pop to your first finger. So the bottom octave. So once you're in second and a half, first finger for your F sharp, you can then use the top octave fingering for the harmonic minor. 1-4 in second and a half, A to B in fourth, 1-4, then back a semitone to third and a half, C sharp to D, and then up to fifth and a half, E sharp, which is the same as F, to F sharp. So the top octave sounds like this. Back a semitone. Back to first for the bottom octave. Again, all of the minor scales are slurred 2 beats to a bow, so if we're playing quavers, they're slurred in sets of 4. So that's F sharp harmonic minor scale. So F sharp melodic minor scale, we're going to use similar fingering, but we're going to raise the 6th and the 7th on the way up. So F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp. This time back to half for a D sharp, E sharp, which is F, same as, in half, and then to second and a half. So then we're in second and a half, we can use the same top octave melodic minor fingering, 1-4 in second and a half, fourth, 1-4, back a semitone, 1-4, and then 2-4. Now on the way back, we're going to play a first finger, then back to 2-1, back to fourth, back to second and a half, and then back to first position, because we need the lowered 7th, first finger, open D. So F sharp minor melodic sounds like this. So all the time we're going to use the same fingering, 1-4, 1-4, 1-4, 2-4 or 2-3, 1-2, 1-4, 1-4-1 for the melodic minor top octave, and then for the harmonic minor top octave, 1-4, 1-4, 1-2, 2-4, 2-2, 1-4, 1-4-1. So that applies to all the scales we're going to do today. So next, G sharp minor. We'll start with harmonic again. So G sharp, first 4 fingers on the E string, back to half, 1, B to C sharp in the first position on the A string, back to half for the D sharp, and then the flat 6 is the E, open G for the raised 7th, which is the equivalent of F double sharp, but you can think of it as an open G, and then G sharp with the first finger. So it sounds far more complicated than it is because we're dealing with double sharps, but enharmonically an F double sharp is the same note as a G natural, so we can actually use an open G. Great, so we've arrived on the first finger. So if we're playing harmonic minor, 1-4, 1-4 again in second and a half, D sharp to E, so 1-2 in fifth, and then push the second finger to where the harmonic G would be in sixth and a half for the top notes. So that top octave, 1-4, 1-4, 1-2, 2-3. And then coming back down. So G minor harmonic, G sharp minor harmonic. So for G sharp melodic, the top octave, we're just going to use the same top octave melodic minor fingering, 1-4, 1-4, 1-4, 2-3. Then 1 on the way back down, 2-1. It's worth just hearing how melodic minor scale sounds. it's got that weird minor scale at the beginning, then major scale at the end, on the way up anyway. So G sharp minor melodic, bottom octave, G sharp, A sharp in half, B to C sharp in first, back to a D sharp, then the raised sixth, which is an E sharp or an F, raised seventh, which is an F double sharp or a G. So it sounds like this. Then we play the top octave. Now we're going to flatten them on the way down, so F sharp, back to E natural, 2, 1 in half, C sharp, back to B natural, A sharp, so the bottom octave way down. It's quite a lot to remember in that scale. And then lastly, C minor. So C minor harmonic. Again, the top octave, we're going to start in third position, 1, 4. Up to fifth, E flat to F. Then I think it's called seventh position we're up to now, with the first finger on the G. And then an A flat with 2 fingers. And there it's really important to replace your third finger with your thumb, chromatic hand shape 2, 3. You should hear what it sounds like. Anyway, you should know how a harmonic minor scale sounds. But it's really important that the replacement of the third finger with thumb into a chromatic hand shape, otherwise you're just totally lost up and down the fingerboard. So 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 2, chromatic hand shape 2, 3. Again, check the harmonic G, 4, 1, back to third. So to get there, there's quite a nice fingering. Starting in half position, C in half, open D, E flat, F, G to A flat in second and a half position, 2, 4, and then 1 across for the B natural, the raised seventh, and then up to third. So you get this. And then finally for the minor scales, C melodic minor. So we're going to raise the sixth and the seventh on the way up and flatten them on the way down. So we get C, third position, E flat to F in fifth, then G to A, and then 2, 3 at the top. 1 finger on the way down, back to 2, 1. So 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3. In order to get up there, we need to raise the sixth and seventh on the way up. So we're going to play an A natural and a B natural in first position. So C, D, E flat, F, open G, A natural to B natural. So the whole scale. Back to half. And that's all of the minor scales covered in the keys of B flat, F sharp, G sharp and C. Okay, so arpeggios. In order to effectively learn arpeggios with correct intonation, I'd find it easier to learn the major and minor arpeggios together rather than doing separately as with previous videos. So starting with F sharp. F sharp, first position on the E string, and then we're going to play F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. So 1, 4, 1 in second half, pop down to fourth, 4, 2, 4, 4. This is a fingering we've used for a few other scales for grade 5. So F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, F sharp. And that top octave is fourth, and then fifth and a half. And then minor arpeggio, we're going to use the same positions, just change the fingers ever so slightly. So F sharp, up to second and a half again, but this time with your second finger, which should be in tune with your A. C sharp, 1 across, then F sharp, 4, then this time A with 1 finger, again tune it with your open A, and then C sharp, F sharp in 5th and a half again. So minor, 2, 1, 4, 1, 4, 4. So F sharp major, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 4. F sharp minor, 1, 2, 1, 4, 1. And arpeggios need to be sled in sets of 3, so the minor arpeggio sled in sets of 3. So A flat major, starting in 2nd and a half position, 1 finger for your A flat, then up to 3rd and a half C with 4 fingers, 1 across for your E flat, 1 across for your A flat, then popping down to 5th position for a C, E flat with 1 finger, and then up to the A flat with 3 fingers. So ever so slightly different to the F sharp major fingering, but still using similar themes. 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 1. And then in a similar idea to how we changed the fingering from major to minor before, we're going to play start in 2nd and a half again with 1 finger. Think of it in terms of G sharp this time, because it's enharmonically slightly easier. So G sharp to B in 3rd and a half, 2, D sharp, 1 across, G sharp, 1 across, so in 3rd and a half again, and then this time up to a 2nd finger for the B, which again is in 5th position, and then 1 across, G sharp. So that might have sounded slightly confusing, talking about different notes in the same position, but we're using exactly the same position, again just changing the 4th finger to a 2 finger, and then the 4th finger to a 2 finger here. Okay, B flat major, this is where it starts to get slightly trickier. So B flat major, the beginning is fairly simple. Half position, B flat major, so B flat to 2nd, D. Again, check that with your open D. And then up to 3rd and a half position for the B flat, D across. And then up to 5th position for the F. Now it's a bit of a jump up to the B flat, so you can think of it in 2 different ways. You can either think of your thumb going where your 4th finger is, and then using a diatonic hand shape to get to a B flat. Or from this F here, you can think of your thumb shifting a semitone past your F to where your harmonic G would be, and using a chromatic hand shape, which I quite prefer to do. So B flat in half, D in 2nd, F 1 across, B flat in 3rd and a half, 2 across for your D, 5th position for your F, and then up to a B flat. And you can practice that shift. Or slurred in sets of 3. Again, using a drone or some sort of accompaniment can help with the intonation for that. B flat minor arpeggio, exactly the same positions again, just changing some fingers. So B flat in half, up to 2nd for D flat, this time with 2 fingers, 1 across through the F, B flat 3rd and a half with 4 fingers, and this time to 1 finger for the D flat, and then the same F and the same B flat. So B flat minor. And then a similar vibe for C major, starting in 2nd position for a C. So we'll play 2nd position to 3rd on the A string for an E, 1 across for your G, then 5th position, 4 for a C, 2 across for the E, and then thumb on the G, and then C with a diatonic hand shape. So C, 3rd, 5th, thumb, And then for C minor, exactly the same positions again, just change the fingering slightly. So C, E flat with 2 fingers in third, G with 1 finger, then fifth for a C, E flat with 1 finger this time, and then up to your G. And that's C minor. So that's all of the arpeggios covered. Okay, chromatic scales. So there are 3 different types of fingering that we can use for chromatic scales. Grade 3 in the video I explained that shifting from half position we should go from 1 to 1 on the way up, and then 4 to 4 on the way back down. Grade 5 we advanced this slightly, where I said whatever shift we want to do, we want to try and finish 1, 2, 4 at the top of the scale, and that changes what we do with our shift to half position. Now there's 3 possible shifts we can do in half position to get to the top of our chromatic scales. We can either shift 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. We can shift 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 4. Or we can shift 0, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. And quite nicely for grade 7, there's 1 of each. So we're going to start with A flat chromatic scale. So A flat chromatic scale, A flat, 4 fingers on the E string. A flat, A. Now the reason I've started with A flat is because A flat is the one that shifts 1 to 1. So we're going to start A flat, shift to first, 1, 2, 4. Third, 1, 2, 4. Fifth, 1, 2, 4. And then 1, 2, 3 at the top to finish. So you can just practice the A flat 1 to 1. Now, because we've done a 0, 1, 1 shift here, we're going to do the opposite and just shift 3 to 3 back. So we're going to go A flat with 3 fingers, back to 6th position, 3, 2, 1, back to 4th position, 4, 2, 1, back to 2nd and a half position, 4, 2, 1, and then back to half, 4, 2, 1. So the whole top octave scale goes like this. And I think our chromatic scales need to be slurred in sets of 6s, which is quite useful because you want to feel them in sets of 3 anyway. So that's chromatic scale starting on A flat. The next one we're going to do is chromatic scale starting on F sharp. So F sharp, first finger in first position on the E string. So that gets us to our middle F sharp. And then F sharp, open G. Now for this one we're going to play 1, 2 in half, then shift to second, 1, 2, 4. Then shift to third and a half, 1, 2, 4. Then fifth and a half, 1, 2, 4. So it sounds like this. Now, because we've shifted 1, 2 in half position on the G string, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to shift 4, 2 in fifth and a half position, and we're going to use our regular positions on the way back, which is 4, 2 in fifth and a half, then fourth position, 4, 2, 1. Second position, second and a half position, 4, 2, 1, and half position, 4, 2, 1. So the F sharp top octave sounds like this: 1, 2, second position, 4, 2, back to fourth, 4, 2, 1, second and a half, 4, 2, 1, half, 4, 2, 1. Now, obviously, I was stopping every shift to try and demonstrate where the finger patterns lie, but when you play these, again, slurred in sets of 3 or sets of 6. So F sharp. And then last of the chromatic scales is B flat. Now B flat's quite a nice one because you shift 0, 1, 2, 4 in half position. You're going to use exactly the same shifts on the way up as on the way down. And then the only vaguely tricky thing is at the top, once you pass 6th position, we then put your thumb where your 3rd finger would be into a chromatic hand shape 1, 2, 3. So it sounds like this. Staying in half, 1, 2, 4. So half, 2nd and a half, 4th, 6th, and then chromatic hand shape. Exactly the same shifts on the way up and the way down. And that's the chromatic scales done. So now for the B flat major scale in broken thirds. This is actually a pretty good warm-up exercise. It's one of the warm-ups that I use in the morning for like my practice routine. It's good for making sure you've got a good curved hand shape and again warming up right hand bow technique. So starting in half position, we're going to do the first 2 notes slurred, and then the second pair is a double stop and an up bow. So B flat to D. Keeping those notes in your head because you're going to use them later. C to E flat. Then you've got that D. Again, you can check it with your open D. D to F in 2nd position, 4, 1. Then E flat to G in half. F to A flat, 4, 2. Then you're going to just basically shift your 1st finger to your 4th finger, move to 2nd position, G to B flat, 4, 1. And then 1st finger to 4th finger again, A to C, 4, 1. Down a semitone, 4, 2, in 3rd and a half position, B flat to D. So half, 4, 1. 2nd, 4, 1. Half, 1, 0. 4, 2. 2nd, 4, 1. 4, 1 in 3rd. 4, 2 in 3rd and a half, and then back. B flat major broken thirds. Thumb position scales. So our thumb position scales are just all D major scales in the top octave. First thing you can do with these scales is just play a low octave D major, D minor, harmonic, melodic to get used to how they sound. Great. Now we're going to use the same hand shapes for all 3 scales. I think that's one of the things that's going to make it easier. So finding your harmonic D with your thumb. We're going to start with a semi-chromatic hand shape. So a tone between your thumb and your 1st finger, D to E. This is D major, F sharp with 3 fingers, thumb G, A with 1 finger, thumb B. And then if your 3rd finger's on a B, if you replace your 3rd finger with your thumb and use a chromatic hand shape, and use your 2nd finger to your 3rd finger, you get C sharp to D. And that's the top of the scale, so it sounds like this. And again, fast bows near the bridge will really help that sound to sing. So that's D major, semi-chromatic hand shape, going to a chromatic hand shape. So for D minor harmonic, we can still use the semi-chromatic hand shape. Thumb, 1 for your E, and then harmonic minor, so we're going to do 2 for your F, thumb, A with 1 finger, semi-chromatic again, 2 fingers for the B flat, and then chromatic hand shape where your 3rd finger would be, and then 2, 3 at the top for the raised 7th, C sharp to D. So the idea is that you're using the same shifts and the same hand shapes, you're just changing the fingers. And then for D minor melodic, again, same hand shape, same shifts. So D, E, F, G, A, B natural this time with 3 fingers, and then 2, 3 at the top in a chromatic hand shape. C sharp D, this time on the way back is C with 1 finger, back to your original position, B flat with 2 fingers, 1, open G, or thumb G, sorry, 2, 1 note, or 2, 1 thumb. So D melodic minor, and that's the thumb position scales for grade 7. Right, diminished sevenths. So diminished sevenths are made up entirely of minor thirds. That's how you build the seventh pattern using minor thirds. So there's 2 ways that you can do diminished sevenths. You can play 1 and then shift to a 4, that's a minor third. Or you can play 4 and then 1 across, that's a minor third. And that works pretty well. Unfortunately, if you're playing them over a long period of notes, like 2 octaves, that hand shape doesn't work all the way. There's a couple of things that you're either going to run out of strings or run out of positions, so it's harder. So there's a couple of cheating corners that I've kind of put in to help. The first one is F sharp diminished, and I really like this one. So F sharp in first position, then your minor third is actually an A, so you can use an open A to get to 3rd and a half to play your C. Then you've got an E flat across, pop down a semitone to 4th, F sharp, A, C in 5th, E flat, and then F sharp. So you can use that pattern once you get to the C. And then just use the open A to get back. So F sharp, open A, 3rd and a half, C, E flat, F sharp, A, C, E flat. So that's the fingering used for F sharp diminished. Our diminished scales need to be slurred 2 notes to a bow. So F sharp to A, C to E flat, and then it's the semitone shifts that are quite important just to get right. So that's F sharp diminished. So B flat diminished, starting in 2nd half position, B flat to D flat, 4 in 3rd position for your E, G, B flat, 1 across. So that's the fingering used so far. So B flat to D flat in 2nd half, then down to 3rd, E to G, 3rd and a half, G flat to D flat, then down to 4th for your E, and then we've run out of space, so we're going to pop to thumbs on the G, and then chromatic hand shape for the B flat. So 4-1 in 2nd half, 3rd, 3rd and a half, 4th, and that's your B flat diminished. So A flat diminished, we're going to start in 2nd half for your A flat, 1 finger, and then again popping down in semitones or 1 across, so A flat, down to 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, which ends up in 4th position, and then a thumb for your F, and then a chromatic hand shape takes you to your A flat, so 2nd and a half, 3rd, 4-1, 3rd and a half, 4-1, 4th, 4-1, and then thumb to A flat. And that's the A flat diminished 7th. So dominant sevenths. Dominant sevenths, remember, this is starting on the 5th note of the original key that we're in, playing the arpeggio with the 7th, and then resolving to the tonic of the original key. So if we're in the key of B, we're going to start on an F sharp because we go B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp. We're going to play an F sharp 7th chord, resolving to a B. So F sharp in 1st, up to 2nd and a half again, A sharp, C sharp, then 1, 4 in 4th for E to F sharp, 2 across, down to fifth and a half, C sharp, E to F sharp, now because we're not going back to the original F sharp, we can stay in fourth, C sharp, back a semitone, A sharp to B. So it sounds like this. So dominant seventh in the key of B. These dominant sevenths also need to be slurred in pairs, so dominant seventh in the key of D flat. We're going to start on A flat in second position. So A flat to C, down to third and a half for a E flat, then 1/4 across, G flat to A flat. So just like a normal arpeggio fingering, but with the seventh. And then from the A flat in third and a half to fifth, and then up one finger for the G flat to A flat, back to fifth, back to third and a half, and then pop back a semitone 1, 2 to resolve it to your D flat. So and that's the dominant seventh in the key of D flat, starting in second position for your A flat. Lastly, dominant seventh in the key of E flat. So we're going to use similar fingering to the dominant seventh in the key of D flat, just to up a tone. So starting on B flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, the fifth note of the scale. B flat in third position was your second finger, B flat, D. You're going to check it with your open D, so B flat, D. Then down to third and a half position, F, A flat to B flat. Stay there, 2 across for the D. And then we're going to just move to fifth for one note for your F. Then thumb on the G, chromatic hand shape, A flat to B flat. Back to the F, back to 2 in third and a half. And then resolve to your E flat. So third position, 2, 1. Third and a half, 4, 1. 4. 2 across. Fifth. Chromatic hand shape, 1, 3, 1. A flat to B flat. Back to fifth. Back to third and a half, 2, 4. 1. 4 across. Back 1, 2. And that's the dominant seventh in the key of E flat, starting on B flat.